What is going on, y'all? Joe Johnston here from Initiate Connections, the best speaker growth consulting program in the space today. And I am here with the very, very powerful Mrs. Ms. Mrs. Dr. Shannon Whittington. How are
All
you?
of them. All
All
of
of
them.
them. All of them. How are you, Doc? We just call her Doc.
I'm
How are you,
doing
Doc?
great. I'm doing great.
Awesome. Well, good to see you. We're excited to have you here. Let's hop right into the meat, the fun of things. Talk to us a little bit. You've been working with us now a couple months. Talk to us about what that's looked like, how much new speaking business you've been able to procure, how much money you've been able to make with adding in new systems and just some of the optimization that we've taught. Talk to us about, where you're at in your speaking business now.
Oh gosh. Well, let's see where I am at as to where I was before I started, which is kind of just like chasing my wills, doing the wrong thing, absolutely wrong thing. Where I am now is like in a pretty good spot. I guess I'm like close to over $20,000.
Nice.
Having been in the program for just a few months.
Nice.
Um, did I just say that?
Did you just say that? And we're going to get to why that's really crazy with all the other programs you've been in, but you said that. You said that.
I did. So it's going fantastic.
I love it. I love it. And talk to us a little bit about that. Talk to us like really where you were at before joining. I know obviously you had gone through some other programs. Obviously, you and I were connected on LinkedIn. You had seen some of my
Mhm.
content. You were really looking for that lead gen piece because you have the message. We know you have message to market fit. You're an incredible speaker. You have the expertise. You have the experience. But talk to us about where you were at before working with us and sort of some of the struggles you were facing on getting on more stages and adding more revenue from speaking.
Okay, so that's a really good question. So I have to tell you this story. When I was much younger, the neighbor used to bring over this amazing rice and shrimp dish, like this yellow saffron rice dish. And I was like, oh my God, mother, that's so good. You wonder if she'll give me the recipe. She was like, well, you can ask her. So I said, oh, could I have the recipe? And the lady goes, sure. And she writes it out and she gives it to me and I make it. And it doesn't taste the same. And I said to mother, I followed the directions specifically. And why doesn't it taste the same? And my mom said, because she left out the key ingredient.
Oh,
And I was like, why would she do that? She don't want yours tasting as good as hers. And I was like, really? And that is what is missing in all the other speaking programs that I joined. The key ingredient, that
mm,
secret ingredient that this program has that none of the others do. How disappointing. If you are a speaker, you want to be a speaker. I am assuming you don't want to always speak for free. Do I still speak for free? Yes, I do. If it's an organization I really believe in. But I want to generate income
mm,
as a speaker. I want financial freedom, right?
mm,
So why would you leave that part out of the training?
mm,
I don't need to pay you $5,000 to tell me to search on Google and network and tell everybody I'm a speaker. I already know how to do that.
mm.
What I like about this program is that it really is automated. And if you're technologically challenged like I am, they'll do it for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's really no excuse not to get involved in this program. Listen, I've joined 6 programs. I have paid for 6 programs. I'm embarrassed. If my wife, please don't show this to my wife. If my wife knew how much money I have spent on speaking programs that promised to show me how to get speaking gigs and didn't,
Mm.
I wouldn't be in this one because she'd be like, no, you're not joining anymore. Like, how many do you need to join to realize that's not. But this one does. It really does, y'all.
Yeah.
Like, it really does. Like, I can't believe the leads that I'm getting now. Like, I didn't even know how to do this. Okay, I still don't know how to do it, but it's being done.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can respond and you can get them on a call and you can show them how powerful you are and you can
Yes.
close that deal for your full speaking rate or if you have to come down with some non-monetary assets. So it's there. Yeah,
Now.
it's
That's
so interesting. It's
crazy.
so interesting. We've talked to so many people and like we don't understand why these other programs aren't teaching this stuff. It's like, do these people not know? I don't get it, you know? And Aaron and I always come from that place of like, you know, we talk about this. It's like there is enough out there for everyone. I mean, I still
There
talk to
really
meeting
is.
planners. I still talk to meeting planners, Doc, who are like, I don't know where all these speakers are. And I'm like, well, I got hundreds of them that are looking for gigs, right? And so it's so interesting. But we are so glad that you have been here. You have been nothing. And you know, the thing is too, Doc, is like, is it automated? Sure. You know, there's parts of it that are automated. But are you still showing up on LinkedIn? Are you doing outreach on LinkedIn? Are you getting in there now and following up with these emails and closing these deals? Yeah, you're putting in the work and you're showing up to the group calls and you've been here and you've been attentive with a full-time job, right? Like you're still putting
Oh
in
yeah.
this work and it is so inspiring to see. And so it's been awesome to help you and get your really powerful message out there to the world. So talk to us again a little bit more of that's where you were before. You've gone through all these programs, you know, had generated some business, but it wasn't consistent. Talk to us about where the business is now. I think you have a couple gigs coming up very soon, or I've just recently passed. Obviously, you're working some new leads to get some new opportunities in, but talk to us of like the state of where you're at inside of your speaking business now, and how things are looking at this point as you start to grow this thing and eventually make it full time.
Yeah, eventually make it full time. It's not eventually, it's going to be in
It's
like by
coming.
June of 2024. Okay. So
Yes.
that's the eventually. Just clearing that up. So this system works if you work it. Like you give the program gives you everything, absolutely everything. Listen, let me tell you something. My VA was sending out like 20 emails a day to all these different conference organizers, y'all, for like 9 months. And this is how much I got. Zero
Yeah.
responses.
Yeah.
Not even a thank you, nothing. Nothing. And y'all had me tweak one little thing on my outreach. And within a week, I had 4 people. I, like you don't know what you don't know, and then you don't know it,
Yeah.
right? So that that's one of the things about this program that's so incredible, and another thing is you said business.
Yeah.
Speaking business. It's not a speaking hobby for me.
Mm.
Okay. It's not a thing that I dabble in. I am a speaker and I treat this as a speaking business because I have a speaking business. And that's how you have to look at it, not something like I'm just going to do this here and there. Maybe that's what you want. But for me, no, full time speaker is where I'm headed.
Mm.
Trust me on that one.
Mm-hmm. We see it. It's coming. You have the date and you're manifesting it. And you now it's not just this airy fairy dream that, yeah, well, I'm gonna get there. It's no. You can see the path now. You can see I'm generating leads. I'm generating a couple leads a day, a couple leads a week. There are opportunities for you and with your message. And I'll leave this to you and you don't have to say what it is, but I'm pretty sure you got a gig coming up that's at your highest fee that you've charged yet. Is that correct?
Oh, yes, correct.
Uh,
Why don't you ask me what I was making before I started this? Why don't you ask
what were you charging before? You don't have to tell us what you're making now, but what were you charging before versus where it's
ask
at
me
now?
that?
Yeah.
Listen, $200,
Yeah.
you know,
No more of
and
that.
then I got one for $2,500 and I thought, listen, I flew down the steps. I told my wife, oh my God, $2,500. She's like, we have $25. Okay,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'd never made that before. Now I'm negotiating between seven and $10,000
Incredible. Amazing.
plus with books. I mean, yeah. And what's good about this program is also teaches you about non-monetary assets,
Yep.
like if you come down on your fee a little bit, how you can make up for it in other ways with introductions and
Yep.
all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
it's great. I never want it to end. I'm like, I don't want to learn everything
No,
because I always want to be here.
you're staying here. We're keeping you in the community. We love having you here. You've been an absolute pleasure. And it's been so awesome to really see you grow and expand. And I remember a couple months ago we were connected on LinkedIn. I know we had chatted a couple times. You know, you're in a certain spot. You know, Aaron came in and we were building some other stuff, and it's just been amazing to see your growth and your journey. And again, you're on pretty much all the calls that you can make it to with a full-time job. It's
Oh
like there
yeah.
is no excuse for anyone, seeing you, seeing Dr. Angela, seeing some of our other clients who have other commitments. Like, you are in here, you are working this system, you have gone through everything that you've needed to go through, and you continue to ask and reach out. And it's been an absolute pleasure. And just seeing and helping you get your message out there is just awesome. So final question, and then I'll let you go. I know we're coming up on time here. And I want to be respectful of your time, Doc. Someone's on the fence there. Hey, look, this is an investment. I understand that, but I'm committed. I want to be a speaker. I either want to scale my current business, I'm already a full-time speaker. I want to scale it, or kind of like you, I've done some speaking here and there, but I want to scale it and go it full time. They're thinking about joining. They're maybe on the fence a little bit. Okay, I have the money, but I don't know who are these guys. Are they legit? What would you say? Obviously, you were there a couple months ago, and now you're glad you made the decision. But what would you say to someone who is on the fence and thinking about joining Initiate Connections and joining our community? What pieces of advice would you give for those folks?
It's interesting that you say that because I watched a testimonial from your one of your students,
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, I even called her.
I
I
love
even
it.
met with her.
I
I
love
was
it.
like, because they all promise it,
Of course.
and after you've spent money on these programs that are highly advertised on YouTube, by the way,
Yeah.
uh, you're like, well, dang, I thought about this like a year, and I'm embarrassed to say that, because I don't think anyone should sit on the fence that long. If you want to be a speaker and you want to learn how to generate leads to be a speaker, then this is the program for you if you're willing to do the work.
Mm.
If you're not, then it's not the program for you because they expect you to do the work. They expect you to show up, and you got to go through the program. And they have this little, they think I don't know this, but I do know this. They have this little thing where they can check and see if you're doing the program,
Yeah.
right? Where you've signed off and completed stuff like that. It's like,
Yep.
yeah, I know. You never
Yeah.
told you do, right?
We do. We check.
It's
Well, we
not,
need
you're
to.
not gonna say. But
We're
if you're,
investing our time and energy into our clients. We
yes,
want to make sure it's coming back. And we even on the front end, Doc, we say, hey, look, we're going to build this, but we can tell if you're not going to do the work, let's just hop off the call right now. We don't need to waste anyone's time. We have other leads coming in. We practice this stuff.
you
So
don't take everybody.
no, we
Like
don't.
everybody in the community is serious about it,
Yes.
and I wasn't really honestly looking forward to another community, and I was like, oh, and I've met, oh my God,
Mm.
some really great, and it's great to be around other speakers, which isn't always an easy group to
That's
formulate,
right.
right?
That's right.
And just from, I think, the synchronicity and just the electricity that
I
happens within
agree.
groups, there's power in that. Within 1 week of being in the group, I got a gig just out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, well, dang, you know?
I agree.
So, yeah, I would say just do it. I already made my money back,
Yeah. And
you
then
know?
some. And then some.
Yeah, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
some,
I
plus
love it.
more.
Well, and there is power to that. I agree. Is if you set your mind, if you believe, we see the clients who just kind of surrender to the process. They believe in it. They trust. They say, I'm going to put in the work. I'm going to detach from the results. And you're right. When you get around those people, talking at bigger numbers, you're like, huh, I want to go charge those bigger numbers. And then you have a gig that has that and pays that. And it starts to your consciousness, your wealth consciousness just starts to level up. You're like, wow,
Yeah,
this is
it really
possible. I can
does.
charge this amount now. Now you've gotten it. And it's like, man, your bar is higher. Sure, I'll come down with non-monetary assets, but I know what I'm worth. I know what I can get in the market. Again, Dr. Shannon, it has been an absolute pleasure. We love having you here. We can't wait to see you continue to grow. And we can't wait until we have that conversation. Y'all, I'm ready to go full time. And we say, all right, cool. And we'll take you through that process as well. So thank y'all so much, Dr. Shannon. Thank y'all for watching. And we will chat with you all soon.